So, who were some of your favorite athletes and teams growing up? Because for me, I grew up an Eagles fan from the Philadelphia area. Eagles, I idolize guys like Deshaun Jackson, Mike Vick, like some of those guys that were just great athletes. Who were some of the influences that maybe your uncles you mentioned that said, "Hey, you got to pay attention to this guy because this guy's a stud."
Yeah, well, growing up, I think a lot of people became Cowboy fans when they had, the Cowboys were on
Hmm.
TV all the time. So I always loved Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, all those guys in the Cowboys. All the way back to Roger Staubach and Danny White and those guys, man. And then I moved to Cleveland, and that's where I went to high school. Then I became a huge Browns fan. Bernie Kosar, Brian Sight, I mean, just so the Mac boys, so many guys in Cleveland that I finally was in a city where football meant everything, and that meant a lot to me. So started off as a Cowboy fan because they were always on TV, living in Central Ohio. Then I moved to Cleveland and became strictly a Browns fan until the day I got drafted by the Dolphins, of course.
Well, which is strange now to say, hey, Cleveland had so much talent back in the day. And then now Cleveland's making this miraculous, well, not miraculous, but an incredible playoff run, highlighted by that dominant win over the Steelers. Is the inner Browns in you fan in you saying, finally, we're finally getting some momentum going and hopefully getting out of the dark ages?
Of course, man. I mean, I cheer so hard for that city, no matter what. I've lived out here in Miami. The Marlins have played the Indians in World Series, and I had to quietly root for the Indians, because I know it's my hometown. Having LeBron down here, when he was playing for the Cavs, I mean, I watched two teams. I watched the Heat and the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came to us, so I had the Heat and still had the Cavs, even though LeBron was here. And then back to the Heat and the Cavs. So I'm just such a huge fan of the city, and the sports and the fans and how they love their sports, man. That once I got to Cleveland, it was like, I mean, it was a no brainer, man. It was all in with that city in every single sport.
And obviously, I love Cleveland. I'm rooting hard for them. I hope they do well and hopefully upset the Bills, but we'll see how that goes.
Tall task. It's
So
a tall task.
it's a very tall
I think
task.
Cleveland. Oh, I think Cleveland's headed to KC though, right?
Oh yeah, Casey.
Yeah.
That's right. Correct. My
Yeah.
mistake. And I just recorded an analysis of those games earlier today. My mistake.